Hey guys, Morten Ostad here. Welcome to my channel. Today I thought I would tackle a vinyl community thread that was originally started by James Griffith. Head over to his channel. Excellent channel. Very deep dive into subject matters. His knowledge is great, and it's very pleasant videos to watch as well. And he's seems like a splendidly nice bloke. And then I watched Gav Axmanspin's video on the subject matter earlier. Well, just minutes ago actually, and I thought, well, let's make this video, which is 10 CDs I do not have on vinyl, and obviously since I'm making this and everyone else is, these are CDs that we'd like to have on vinyl. I have shown over the last year and a half that I've been sort of on the vinyl community that there are quite a few, and I don't know if maybe some of these will be repeats, but I try to avoid the the really difficult ones, I guess, except maybe one here, and some of the big whales that I have. I have watched a couple of these videos now, so I have sort of mentally been removing records that have been in other people's videos. It's not this record, but as an example, Gav showed something by that he would have liked by Badly Drawn Boy, and you might have seen Badly Drawn Boy records show up in my collection over the past few months. I've found a couple. This one isn't particularly hard to find, but I keep putting it off. I don't know why. I love this record. It's actually the soundtrack to About a Boy, but it keeps pushing it ahead and then grabbing something else. And I think they even have a 2 for reasonable amount of money deal over a plot company. Still haven't jumped on it, so that's just an example, but let's get into it. So initially I thought I am going to do UK bands only from the 90s and so on, and then I'll make another video with other groupings and one for heavy metal. And I said, and I ended up going, no, let's make it difficult for myself and just make an overall one with 10 albums in it. I didn't dive very deep into looking at what I was going to show. I thought, no, let's go for it now. So I grabbed stuff. This is one section you have here, and then you have an equal section there and one more further down. So something sprung to mind while I was watching Gav's video as well. So the first one I'm going to go with is I do not own any vinyl by this band, and it's shocking in a way because I love them. Then again, I do listen to the CDs quite a bit, so maybe that's fine. But this one isn't my original CD. This is a deluxe edition that came out later, and it is of course Ocean Color Scene. That's stalwarts? Is that what the word they use? One of the most solid, talented bands in the sort of the Brit pop era, spanning several genres, but just very good, solid music. This I do not actually own their first album. It is supposedly quite different than anything they did since. But yeah, this is mostly shows from Ocean Color Scene, and one I definitely, I wouldn't kick it out of bed if I got this on vinyl. Next up, a Teenage Fan Club. I love Teenage Fan Club, and I do own a couple of Teenage Fan Club albums on vinyl, but those are very recent ones, like the last one, which is actually, by the way, the only one that I do not own on CD as far as their proper studio albums go. And my introduction to Teenage Fan Club, I don't remember, but I was aware of them, and the first album that I got was is it 25 years ago now? Well, this came out in 1997, but I bought a couple of years later. This is probably my favorite. And I know a lot of people are going to protest and say, no, what about Grand Prix and other? But yeah, I'm very fond of Songs from Northern Britain. That's an amazing album to me, and one that I would definitely really like to get on vinyl. So and all their classic stuff, of course, on vinyl. I'm a very slow collector of U2 on vinyl, and one that you might be shocked that I still haven't got around to. A decent secondhand copy tends to cost quite a bit, and also the latest pressings and variants of this album tends to be quite expensive. Again, so I keep pushing it further ahead into the future, and it is, of course, Achtung Baby. So this is a deluxe edition. By the way, one of those deluxe editions where they change format after doing things in a certain way up to a point, and annoying collectors. And yeah, and I suppose this was the last deluxe edition in this format that they did. But yeah, a quintessential album, and now that I finally got the Cure's Disintegration, maybe this should jump up a few steps in my collecting. I love Wales. I love music from Wales around those cool Cymru days, the Welsh Tiger and all that. And if you followed my channel for a while, you know that, for example, Super Furry Animals and Manic Street Preachers are very, very much part of that love of Wales. But one band I haven't talked about much is Stereophonics. I collect them, I love them, and been listening to them since their debut album, which I bought in Copenhagen when I was living there. But I do not own any of Stereophonics albums on vinyl. I was about to say not for lack of trying, but that's actually not true. I haven't really been trying, because you get one and then you want to get all. Of course, it's not an enormous amount of albums they release, but it's starting to be a fair bit. But I think the first one I would have liked to get on vinyl if I was going to get was their second album, which is Performance and Cocktails. So I have this and their first album in these deluxe editions. Did their third come out in that variant? I think so, but I never did get it in that. So that's an ordinary CD. But yeah, Stereophonics, solid rockers there. A band I really do enjoy going back to and listening to again and again, and this would be the contender for the one. If I was only going to get one on vinyl and had to choose, this would probably be it. As you know, if you watch my channel, I love Australia and Australian music and New Zealand, and what is my favorite Australian band? Hard to tell in some ways, because I do consider Crowded House a New Zealand band. But a band that I'm very fond of, and unfortunately only released 2 albums, is Leonardo's Bride. And again, not impossible to get. It was reissued just a few months ago in Australia. But the cost of shipping and everything, and the few sellers here in Europe that I've seen offering it, very expensive. Just like those reissues of the original Church albums that are around. You got €80 for a brand new pressing of an album, which is a lot. But I saw Leonardo's Bride at the Domain. That's the park behind the Governor's Building in Sydney, and I went there with a woman that I went to Australia to see. She'd already broken up with me at that point, and I wrote a little sort of a poem thing, and then I sent that about seeing the bats flying over and how I was feeling and everything, and seeing them, and this beautiful voice of this feathered, because she used to wear feathers. I remember the singer, and they wrote back and hoped I was doing okay, and I wish I had that email still. It's gone the way of Yahoo. Of course, the track that they were, Angel Blood, Bleeding Divine, said Rolling Stone in 1997, featuring the smash hit Even When I'm Sleeping. So, check them out if you haven't already. Still surprised that I haven't gotten this. Echo and the Bunnymen, I own all their studio albums from back in the day. I still have my Echo and the Bunnymen albums from those years before before Ian McCulloch left. And also I have a couple of the compilation albums from that period. But then they they became the proper Echo and the Bunnymen, so to speak, again in 1997. With 3 of the members doing a reunion. Since then, there's only been 2. I touched upon that in my in an Echo and the Bunnymen album review that I have coming out. I recorded it now, but it's probably going to premiere somewhere a week or so after New Year's. But the reunion album, Evergreen, that I still haven't grabbed that on vinyl. It really surprises me. I really should. And collecting their reunion stuff on vinyl is a little bit sort of hit and miss, because some of it is, came out in small batches, I suppose, and are quite expensive. But this isn't. But I really should get Evergreen, an excellent album. Another band I'm very surprised I do not own anything by on vinyl. A band I discovered in 96 and 97 when I was at film college in Ebeltoft. We would used to go into Aarhus to go out and not be in a small village all the time, and I would go there to go to record shops. And one of the record shops that I went into, and I remember it I grabbed this record knowing nothing about the band, and the record by Norwegian artist Anja Garbarek, and that is Lightning Seeds with Dizzy Heights. And as you can see, the price sticker there from Bestu Rock, Sauna Rock in Aarhus there. So I love the Lightning Seeds, and this is my favorite album to this day, and it's just such an strange, very different sound to these kind of straightforward pop songs. But there's highly recommend it, and I wish I had this on vinyl. In my collecting of The Cure on vinyl, I have a mix of my old albums, some of which unfortunately I lost, so I had to get them again. The stuff that I got on CD because I went across to the old CD world there. This wasn't the first one I bought on CD instead of vinyl or even cassette, but it was reissued not that long ago. But because I have all these deluxe editions on CDs up to that point, I didn't get Wish on vinyl, and I again, one of those where I keep putting it off and pushing it ahead. And this, I would say their last album that really grabbed me, that I really loved up until this year's album. Need to get this on vinyl. I hope to do so at some stage. Been a lot of UK stuff here. Let's cross over to the North. Was it PNW, Pacific Northwest of America, and of course it is. I love grunge music, and I've been not listening to a book about Chris Cornell lately, and this album of course came up a lot, and Here is one of those times when I decided to get a CD. It came out in a deluxe edition not that long ago, but I got the CD box instead because it had a lot of extra material they didn't have in the vinyl, of course. And then since then I haven't gotten the vinyl, and I wish I had, but it is of course Temple of the Dog. And this, by the way, is one of the nicest deluxe CD editions I have. Of any kind, I suppose. I'm biased because I love this album so much. But yeah, you got your media in there. It comes with a lenticular of the album cover. And a poster. And a booklet. So, an amazing album, of course. You know, this was a grunge supergroup before these bands were super, so to speak. You know, Pearl Jam, of course, hadn't recorded anything yet. I don't think they were even called Pearl Jam yet. What was it, Bailey Bullock or whatever it was? You know, it is, you know, Soundgarden meets Pearl Jam in a way, I suppose. But yeah, of course, the tribute and everything to Andy Wood. Here's what happens when you put the album so you can see it all the time. The back gets exposed to sunlight and you get this happening. Oh well. Final one. Showed it not that long ago in video, but again, I can't believe I don't have this or any of the classic releases from Crowded House on vinyl. It bums me out. But like I said in a previous video, 2016 they re-released all their classic albums from you know, the Capitol years on vinyl and CD, and the CDs were deluxe editions with an extra disc of you know, demos and unreleased tracks, B-sides and so forth, and I grabbed those instead. And this one in particular is now very, very pricey on vinyl. Not least because I think it originally only came out, it's like somewhere in Netherlands or something like that on vinyl back in the days, because CDs had taken over. And it is, of course, Together Alone by Crowded House. One of the most beautiful albums that I know. Yeah, I talked about it in my competition entry into Alex's video about 1993. So I just... someone at Universal Music, please re-release this, because it's odd. At least here, you never see Crowded House albums in secondhand stores. They say, no, we don't get. We are also surprised we don't get them very often in here, and the ones we do are often not in a very, like, I held Woodface in my hand like a couple of weeks ago. But I did. I mean, it didn't look very well, and they still wanted, I think, it was 300 kroner for it. So, and I kind of, unless they start re-releasing them, I kind of want to go for those 2016 reissues because of the uniformity, I suppose. But yeah, so this was 10 CDs that I do not own on vinyl, which I would have liked to own on vinyl, or I'm even surprised, and you might be surprised that I don't own them on vinyl. Some of them, I guess I'm sort of fine having them on CDs and not getting them, but it still irritates me. It vexes me, I suppose. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you soon in another video. Please head over to the other guys' channels. I'll leave links in the description.